let's go.
Okay. So this is the first day of a Fintech festival, and it's my pleasure to introduce the team in the first team meeting what we have. We have today with us Ottmar, who is head of blockchain, Tobias, head of application development, Moritz,
That's me.
and Philip from our cooperation partner Sense. And my intention is that we discuss a little bit about where we come from, what brought us to the product, and maybe some insights why we are here today and present to Singapore. Right. So Ottmar, if you can just give me some details about yourself.
Yeah, welcome. My name is Ottmar. I'm responsible for blockchain and technology, and I'm addicted to blockchain. And yes, I give the word to Tobias.
Yeah, thank you, Ottmar. My name is Tobias. I'm responsible for application development and, as such, I'm product owner for the Wattify mobile application.
Yeah, hi, I'm Philip. I'm also part product owner for Wattify mobile application. My background is more in the marketing and design perspective, and go also hand in hand with Tobias to create the best user experience in the app.
I'm Moritz. I'm from Sense. I'm responsible for the renewables part, for the energy part, for the projects we bring on the platform, and the strategic approach.
Perfect. And my name is Martin. I'm one of the co-founders of Yuki, and also supporting the Wattify product establishment. Okay, so let's start. Ottmar, we have been in Singapore in the year 2019, right? And we had our first MVP of our first product called Liquid. Can you tell us a little bit about what we did there and what was the unique thing what we presented already during the Fintech Festival?
Liquid was the prototype of the now product Wattify. We have learned much about how we do decentralizing. We had experience before, but now we have made the product with not very much edges. It goes straight forward. We don't have technology problems because we solved it 2 years before. We think that all future features which will come to Wattify will not be a technology problem.
So we started in 2019 with a desktop version, right, of the product?
A web app. Yeah.
A web app, yeah. Exactly. And we already worked with the first smart contracts on an Ethereum blockchain.
Yes. We have the experience from before, from many different constellations of smart contracts. The interesting thing about that is that we don't have only one contract. So we have 9 different contracts which interacts to each other, and each business logic is completely decentralized in smart contracts. So we don't have any middleware. We don't have access for hackers or security issues. We have a real decentralized business logic, which is used by the front end, by the mobile app, and this is, I think, the biggest IP of that product.
So technically the product was already ready in 2019, but we were missing licenses and the regulatory framework to bring it on the market.
Yeah, and some small stuff, some little things we have to solve. Of course, we have the problems of having a fast application, so we decided to use a caching server only for public data to have a great user experience for that. And some other stuff.
And when we decided as Yuki to go deeper in the product development of this new product, which brings us to Tobias, who joined us early this year as head of application development, and he got the task, among many other things, to further develop the application, web application, into a mobile application. So what were your first thoughts when you started, when you saw the product and what we presented already in Singapore?
Actually, my first thought was like, okay, let's do app. And then it turned out that the decentralized app has some challenges actually. Otmar said that we solved the problems on the blockchain side, so we know how to do the investment process and the smart contract and to bring the data of the power plant into the blockchain and stuff like that. But of course, in a mobile application, you want to have like fast user experience. You want to tap and bam, you want to have the result. And not having a backend is also a paradigm change for mobile developers nowadays, because usually you have a backend which is doing most of the work, and most mobile apps are kind of stupid. You just ask the server and say, look server, give me a list of all power plants that are open for investment and whatnot. But you can't do this with a blockchain. You can, but it's difficult, it's not good from performance perspective. So we actually started to introducing like stateless, non-crucial centralized elements, I would say, like caching servers that are not crucial for the app to run, for the business process, for the investment process, for distribution of yield and stuff like that, but that make the user experience better. So at every place where we can make the user experience better without compromising the key advantages of the blockchain, we did that in the mobile application development, or we are about to do that actually. So we go, of course, feature-wise, we develop mobile. So yeah, but this is of course a challenge for the whole team. I think the second app will be faster.
Great, great. And this was exactly at the same time when you joined us and when we looked deeper inside, when our lawyers from Munich called us and said there are some guys who look exactly for the same thing what you have been already working on, which brings us to our Sense colleagues in Wattify t-shirts.
Yes.
Yes. So it worked out. So the story was that our lawyers called us and said, hey, there are these guys. I can't tell you the name, but if you accept, we give them your name, and if they come back, then you can have a discussion. And then we went to Würzburg, to the headquarter of Sense, and presented the state of affairs, what we did with Liquid, and our ideas, what we wanted to turn it into a mobile app. How was it received? I mean, obviously good, because you're here.
Yes, yes, for sure, for sure. Yeah, we met, I think it was early this year. We were looking for an approach to bring mezzanine capital to PV, especially for us PV projects and renewables in general. And yeah, our lawyers told us we have someone we met before, we're working with. Would you be interested in contacting them? And that's what we did. And after meeting in Würzburg, we quickly realized that there would be a good idea to work together. Could be a good approach, because you bringing in the blockchain technology and the basic framework, as well as some legal knowledge about the whole process, and us bringing in the projects, the PV projects, big pipeline which we want to fund over the platform in the next years. And yeah, then we took off and we started developing the project. We started clearing the legal framework, and now we are more or less about to go public with it.
Fantastic, fantastic. So the share of responsibilities is that Yuki brings the technology, the blockchain technology, and is developing the application. Tobias can say a little bit more about it, what we have established so far in the teaming. And Sense is doing the marketing and, the most important part, the project pipeline.
Yeah, exactly. And then also we have Philip, who's bringing together the renewable perspective and the IT perspective to make the whole thing happen, and find a way together with Toby to how to address the projects on the platform. Yeah, and that I think it works very well. Paid off to work together. So we're looking forward to bring the first projects on the platform, which will happen. What do you think? Platform readiness.
We have to look for that. The first live stream is already asking for promises.
No, we'll be. I mean, we'll be in the very near future. We have to bring the. I mean, we know it. We have to clarify the legal framework. We have to clear with the regulations to make sure that we are able to offer really legally all covered projects. And once this is done, we got all the approvals. We will be ready to start end of this year, I guess. Early beginning of next year. We're nodding, so yes.
Yes.
But this is only homework. There's no stumbling block. This is just what
things
needs
to get done. Yeah, some processes which will take some time.
The timeline is not on us. There are some regulators involved and some other parties, so we heavily rely on the work what we are doing. And then
But
we
they are working a lot on the project, so they're not blocking us, but it's a good collaboration with all the entities and the authorities.
And then in the middle of a development, we started the UX UI interface, where Philip came in, and you really shuffled it a little bit, our initial idea, and from the design. Tell us a little bit about what we do with the end customer approach, how it should look, the app from the look and feel. I mean, we have blue t-shirts, so it's some wonderful colors.
Right. So thing is, we ask ourselves, what would we do with the app? So who will be our target audience, and what will be actually the use case? So we think in different stages. In the early stage, there's the technology part somehow. So then there comes the impact part. So we need an app interface which brings it together in different stages, and we can load the impact part on it. So for this reason, we created some drafts and showed it to some target audience guys, and they said, yeah, we'll expect this and this and this. So we had a panel discussion, and then the process started. So our UX UI team came up with the first ideas, and then we thought about, okay, how can we bring it to the next level, also with a brand and design approach that we are created on a parallel track. So in case of talking about colors, typography, and also the use, we want to make the app easy as possible to understand and to use, and make it somehow intuitive to spend the money to create some impact. It must be flow. It has to be flow. So so this was, I think, the major progress that we achieved in the last weeks to make it round, and also create a vision for the future. And this is also very much Toby's part in the last days, I think. So now we got a vision where we want to go, and also some basic features that are already implemented in the strategic UX part. So
this is the first version of the application. We are stabilizing the functionalities, I understand, and try to gather early on user feedback to see what comes next, what needs to be improved, and so on. So from a positioning point of view, I know that we had a lot of discussions. Where did we place it? Wattify, comparable with the others.
So what do we, other than normal companies in this sector? So we are not a fintech as a bank from this perspective, and we are not just a crowd investment platform for green investments. So we are something in the middle, and this is the challenge, and this is what we are doing. By investing in a greenfield project in a PV area, you do something good, and this is the core what we are doing from the impact side already. So everything we do is something good, and this is also part of our strategy. So we can load it with some different arguments, but this is what we're doing. Good energy in an app, and with good energy comes good revenues, right? So it's also logical that you need some revenues for your invest that you do, and so you do good things for the mankind by pushing the energy transition, but also gaining revenues with it. Yeah.
Ottmar, what comes next? I know that you are a nerd, a blockchain nerd around, and you are a purist whenever we discuss about blockchain.
We haven't talked about that before, but next release 2 will be a decentralized finance application. I don't know.
I wanted to ask about the vision later.
Later.
What is in the plan? What comes next in terms of blockchain? Once we have stabilized the basic functions.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is regulation, because we had decided to make things like a private chain, but we want to go to the public chain. And I think this will be step by step, in parallel to the regulation, to go really on a public chain, and then we can sell the assets on a decentralized or on a DEX, and assets can be exchanged between investors. Can be simply transferred from one mobile to the other, not with a bank between that. And I think this is the future of digital assets, and this will be the next step, I hope.
I wanted to ask you when Moon, Ottmar, but will we sell the tokens in the future? I mean, in the public?
Yes, we need to. We need banks who are allowed to hold the token, the investments. This is one important step. And the next step is that banks will be able to sell assets, digital assets. And this will absolutely be, in my opinion, the future. I don't know what you think.
So you say that, Ottmar.
Okay. So the technical framework can be used and adapted for other use cases. It's not just limited on renewable energy assets.
That's absolutely, and also the technology we do now is able to scale. So we are not limited to one blockchain technology. We are really open, and we do everything to have a scalable and not a restricted blockchain application. And this is my personal thinking, because we talked about identities. We also have included a special framework for identities, and have some really great concepts about that. And we need to bring it step by step in the releases and the applications.
So following the development, I had always a feeling that Tobias is more of a conservative guy and tries to rely on existing stuff, and you are more R&D focused.
Yes, absolutely.
And try to build top-notch stuff.
Yeah.
So give me some insights where you met in the middle. I mean, when you agreed on something, and how does it advance then?
Yeah, first of all, I want to say conservative is not an yeah, of course. I think it's a good combination. Ottmar is like, Ottmar doesn't care about the use case. Ottmar says, okay, here that's technology, and this is how it should be, and you have to do it that way. That's always, he starts the architecture meeting like this. And then you say, yeah, okay, but I have this requirement. I have, for example, the regulatory requirement to have also the data available for some authorities if they stop by or something like that. So there are rules we have to comply to. So we can't encrypt everything. we need at least to hold a few user data to give them to BaFin if they ask for it. So this is one thing where I think we found a good way of bringing together the, I would say, requirements from both worlds, so from technology side and from the real world. I think this is a process that has to happen for new technology, also, for example, and disruptive technology to emerge in the market. So these processes have to happen, and it feels like we're on the edge of this.
So if you would need to position Wattify somewhere technically to our competitors, where would you put it? Is it technically very advanced? Where is it? Where are we now with the solutions?
It's quite simple. It's we have two sides. We have the one side is the absolutely decentralized finance, crypto stuff, technology things like Uniswap and all that stuff. And we have the other side. This is our investments in bankings and some platforms, which are mostly not automated. They are manually. The processes are manually, and I believe that, or I think that we are really in the middle. We are the first who bring those worlds together. We just go a little bit to the left and to the right because of regulation, but I think the way for the future will be not clear, but in the right way.
So behind you both, before I come to you again, behind you both are some more guys. Tell us a little bit about the team behind you on the blockchain side, on the application side, so that we talk more about the team.
Okay, yeah, I can start. We have we split it a bit in two teams. So we split it not consequently because we throw the team together. If they have to develop a feature together, then of course the front end guys and the blockchain guys meet. But in general we have two teams. Ottmar has two blockchain developers, Caleb and Noor. And on my side, I have the application developers, so the front-end guys that are doing Flutter, Dart, Jürgen and Samen. And also we have, of course, somebody who is doing the user experience or implementing the user experience. That's basically our team. We will, of course, top it up in the future with hopefully Scrum Master, quality assurance, so fixed position for quality assurance. And stuff like that, and then of course we have to see what future projects will come and what resources we need, and how to throw a team together.
Yeah, we will bring the team for this project together. Though the process was something like between the team building and bringing structure into the team, where Tobias is expert, not me. So it's great because Michael and Martin opened the world to have international people to join, and we have a really decentralized team. We have Noor in Tunisia. We have Samin in Tehran. We have Bilgun in Istanbul or near Istanbul, and we have Caleb in Singapore. And the team experience is so different from each other team I ever worked with, and it's more than a development team. I think it's a new kind of culture, and I like it. Yeah.
So when you hear all that, and we brought this topic to sense, did you realize at the beginning that it's so complex and that it requires so much? And how did you communicate this internally?
That's a good question. From the technical perspective, I had no clue. I mean, that's why it's not my business, but yours. I'm more the guy for the projects, and you're pushing me enough to bring the next projects on the platform and acquire them. No, from the technical perspective, I pretty quickly understood that you have the basis is ready, you have the framework ready. You were thinking already a lot about the regulations you have to work with. I remember my first session with Ottmar, a deep dive in, I don't know, 90 minutes in crypto and blockchain. And then I understood, okay, there's a lot more behind it than I even thought. And also from the regulatory perspective, there are many things to cover. I mean, I had some experience in crowd investment. I knew that there are some exemptions and regulations and stuff like this. But to bring it all together, to cover the regulation, bring it together with the blockchain technology, to make sure that the UX will be in a manner that people will like it, people will be able to do an investment, nevertheless with a few clicks. So not to show the complexity behind it to the people, but bring it all together at the front end in a quick and easy way to make the investment possible. That was probably a bit more challenging than I expected it to be, but I think the way we set it up with you guys, bringing the technical perspective and the experience in the blockchain industry, and us covering the whole part of the projects, of the things we think we need to show in the UX, what is the project about, to bring in the pipeline, and also to bring in a completely different approach, because I mean, Philip is a tech guy as well, but looking on the whole thing from a completely different, from a customer perspective, saying, hey guys, I don't care how it works, but just make it happen that I can invest here. I think that's a combination that we bring together, which is really brings us forward to having a really good app and a great technology behind.
So the last 20 minutes, I would like to talk a little bit about the future. So let's imagine Fintech 2022 next year. What will we have achieved in terms of blockchain, application, UX, and projects?
Okay.
Who wants to start?
I can start. I can start. I mean, I'm in the flow now. I think we will.
And you know, it all is recorded. So when it doesn't.
Yeah, I know.
But it's your personal opinion.
You would
just talk about your personal opinion.
I know. You would show it to me again in half a year. That's what you guys do. You push me, saying, okay. Yeah. What's important is we have reserved part of our pipeline for Wattify to bring the projects on the platform, but it will not be just PV focused. I mean, we're a PV EPC company, but we will bring other projects to the platform. We're talking to people to bring project developments on the platform. We're looking for other technologies to bring them on the platform. We're looking for real, just pro bono impact things. All that is possible. Everything around the impact, renewable, carbon neutral or carbon reduction themes. But in general, we will do much more than just PV financing on the platform. And I think we will add a lot of it. This is your part, guys. We will add some more ideas of user experience, things you can do on the platform. We will bring this as well online pretty quick, I think, and there's much more to come. I mean, we're now starting. We're showing that it works. We're showing that we have the projects on the platform. We will have people investing, and then we will work on the platform step by step.
Who wants to go next?
Yeah,
please.
Go ahead.
Okay. So as already mentioned, we want to introduce new technologies and also new features to the app. So by new technologies, there will be also new insights into the investment project and also about the impact that we gain. So I think this will be the main challenge, to find some really unique things to discover about projects, and also a way to translate the impact that you gain with the app, and also spread it to the world, to others. And I think this should be also a game changer for the app again, to go the next step, to go public to a much younger audience, which hasn't that focus on IT, blockchain, and investment until then, right? So I think this will be the big next step for us in the interface. Tobias? Oh, Ottmar, you want to?
No,
Yeah, of course, we are in the row.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I can answer from application development perspective here very easily. I don't know what comes next. The next step is definitely to gain feedback. So to bring the app out to the people. For every bit in the app you see, there are like at least 10 ideas, and we throw away 8 of them, and we have 2 more left, and 1 we decided to deliver for MVP. But of course that's what we think, how we see it. But that's of course that's maybe not that what people want to see. Of course we decided on a way to show what we are doing on the platform, to show that every project is a good project, that everything you do is an impact and stuff like that. And I think we met that very good. But it will turn out when it meets the reality and when we get the first feedback for the app. Of course we have a vision, and we have like 100 more ideas for every portion of the app to bring in more features, to deliver more content, to bring people closer to the investment, to give them more metrics and whatnot. But at the end of the day, we don't know if that is needed. And the reality is, of course, that we have the idealistic goal to save the world and whatnot. But of course, we also need to make money to pay the people, and so that's also a goal. And to meet these, we need to meet the requirements that, of the future customers of Wattify, I want to say.
Okay, for me it's quite simple. So I have my personal vision, and I think you have it too, because it's simpler than technology. It's just one token. It's a Wattify token, and the use cases behind that, in my opinion, will be I will change euro to Wattify token, and then I have the platform you told us, and then I can say, okay, 10,000 euro Wattify to bring to PV, 10,000 to Windcraft, and and the return of invest I get back, I reinvest in other projects, and after that I have my mobile app. I can say these are my renewable energy investments. I have this on Windcraft, this on PV, and I'm really a green boy. I have this is just the coolness of what's behind that. So if I'm young and I just have not very much money, but I can invest in that kind of stuff, not being a banker or a finance expert, just to have a real simple way to invest, or if I'm older, to invest in something where my child and my could earn impact and
So
advantages.
changing from obligation to something that's fun to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bring the fun to the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't like the banking stuff. It's so it's so I can't explain it. It's not the kind of feeling what today the young people are feeling, and this will change. I think.
That's a good point, which brings me to one of the last questions. So, I mean, you all know the app, you know the technology behind, you know how it functions. Thinking very crazy, what would be possible? I mean, where could this head? You talked about gamification. Investments don't have to be boring, right?
It's so simple. I invest in a PV plant, and it's right over there. I go with my mobile there. I click on on my mobile, and then I get the return on invest directly from the plant. I can look at that. I have an overview, like a manager of all my localized experiences. Like I can go to the plant. I can have interaction with the plant directly. This is some kind of a new experience and gamification for that.
So your vision is to bring the clients even closer to the
absolutely.
assets.
Just when I walk through the wood, there's a windcraft, and I look at that, and okay, it's there. But if I have invested in that windcraft, I can go there and. But
where could it go? Some more ideas.
Yeah, actually, that's a key of bringing people to the investment, to binding the investment back to the reality, which is not the case in the current banking or investment world. So that's something we already had for, which is a core, I think, of Wattify definitely. But you can do so much more about that. So I hope that feedback will not throw away our visions we have now completely. But I don't think so. I think that's what the world needs at the moment, and also what people want. So of course I hope that we can go more in the direction based on the feedback we get.
Mm-hmm. Some more crazy ideas before?
I wouldn't say crazy, but I mean it's a serious thing to both to invest. I mean everyone has the responsibility to somehow take care of his or her own future, and also to protect the environment. And if you can bring it together, it's already a good first step. But in general, I think it's a good thing to. I wouldn't say don't take it serious, but to bring a bit more, as you said it, bring a bit more fun to it, make it a bit more direct. It's nothing abstract anymore, because you put your money in a fund and you don't know actually where it goes to. But it's a bit more direct. You can see it. You can perhaps even feel it, because you're walking by and can see where you have invested. Nevertheless, it's €1 or €1,000 or whatever. But coming with new ideas, how to make it even more fun. But perhaps even some education in it. So why should I do it, and what can I do? But on the other hand, also bringing some gaming perspective to the impact thing, because it's very often impact and carbon neutrality is considered to be something like you have to step back, to reduce, to not to do things. But in general, it's more like a win in daily life than a loss. So show the people that it's fun with it. It's nothing bad. It's nothing where you have to say I don't do things anymore, but you do other things, and you change your focus a little bit.
Fantastic.
It's like geocaching. So you can go to the plant
for finance,
and then just for
get
finance,
the QR code. Okay. Geocaching for investment. That's
perfect.
That's nice.
That's
nice.
release 3.
It's a very good idea.
Soon to come.
Perfect. Thank you very much for this first intro round. So this was our first meet the team, ask us anything, more or less a kind of introduction of us, what we do. We will be on the Singapore Fintech Festival in our e-booth. All here will be present during the booth. You can book individual sessions with everybody. If you have specific questions about blockchain, it will be Ottmar. About the application, it will be Tobias. UX, UI, it will be Philip. And I put you on sales.
Everything else is me.
And project development, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, and tomorrow, and for the next sessions, we will go deeper in the tech and explain a little bit more what is actually powering this platform. We talk about smart meter gateways, about how do we actually achieve a vision, what Ottmar just said, where we bring clients and investments and assets from Sense directly together. So thank you very much for your support, and you will have tomorrow also a session on projects.
Yep.
And with your CEO from Sense, will
Yep.
you introduce a little bit more about your company and what you're doing?
We will.
Perfect. Then thank you very much, and see you tomorrow latest, and later on the eBooth.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.